In 1973, the horror movie Warlock Moon was cast with a unique blend of actors, each bringing their own distinct strengths to the production. The casting process was a careful one, with a director and producers seeking out the right combination of talent, experience, and chemistry. For the lead role of Liza, the filmmakers selected Dawn Wells. Known for her role as Marianne on Gilligan's Island, Wells brought a wholesome charm and likability to the part. Her audition showcased her ability to convey both vulnerability and determination, making her the ideal choice for the beleaguered protagonist. The role of the Warlock was given to Joe Spano, a seasoned character actor known for his intense and often menacing performances. Spino's audition demonstrated his capacity to embody the dark and mysterious qualities required for the part. His chemistry with Wells during their screen test solidified the decision as their interactions crackled with tension and intrigue. To round out the cast, the filmmakers turned to character actors John Carradine and Morgan Fairchild. Carradine, a veteran of countless films and stage productions, brought a sense of gravitas and wisdom to his role as the town's elder. Fairchild, in her film debut, showcased her natural charisma and talent, making her a standout in her supporting role. Throughout the casting process, the filmmakers looked for actors who could bring depth and authenticity to their roles, while also exhibiting strong chemistry with their co-stars. The resulting ensemble helped to create a memorable and chilling atmosphere in Warlock Moon. The directorial vision behind the 1973 movie Warlock Moon focused on creating a sense of eerie suspense and supernatural mystery. The director aimed to bring the story to life by using atmospheric lighting, sound effects, and camera angles to build tension and intrigue. Their creative influences included classic horror films and Gothic literature, which inspired the film's dark and foreboding tone. The director's style emphasized slow pacing and gradual reveals, allowing the audience to feel the growing sense of dread alongside the characters. They collaborated closely with the cast and crew to ensure everyone understood the mood and atmosphere they were trying to achieve, fostering a cohesive and immersive storytelling experience. The 1973 movie, Warlock Moon, is a lesser-known horror film that tells the story of a warlock who returns from the dead to wreak havoc on a small town. Despite its lack of mainstream success, there are many fascinating facts about this movie that will leave you shocked, amused, and saddened. Firstly, did you know that Warlock Moon was filmed in just 12 days? Given the complexity of the storyline and the special effects used, this is an impressive feat. Moreover, the film's budget was only $150,000, which is a fraction of what most horror movies cost to produce today. Another interesting fact is that the film star, Joe Spano, was also one of the writers. Spano is best known for his role as the creepy detective in the original Friday the 13th movie. However, his performance in Warlock Moon is equally chilling, and his dedication to the role is evident in his intense portrayal of the Warlock. Sadly, Warlock Moon was the last film that director Vertinen ever made. He died shortly after its release, leaving behind a legacy of innovative filmmaking. We would love to hear your most cherished memory or personal experience related to this movie. Share your stories and memories in the comments below, and let us know what you think about these fascinating facts. Stay tuned for more interesting trivia about your favorite movies, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting content. The production of the 1973 movie Warlock Moon was a challenging yet exciting endeavor. The set design for the movie was meticulously crafted to create a haunting atmosphere that perfectly captured the eerie tone of the story. The locations chosen for filming, such as the dense forests and abandoned cabins, added to the authenticity of the film. However, filming in these remote locations presented logistical challenges. The crew had to transport equipment and personnel through rugged terrains, which required careful planning and coordination. The limited access to amenities and resources also posed additional difficulties. During production, the team employed innovative techniques to enhance the visual effects and create a sense of suspense. The use of practical effects, such as prosthetics and makeup, brought the supernatural elements of the story to life. Additionally, advanced camera techniques like tracking shots and POV shots were utilized to immerse the audience in the chilling narrative. Despite the challenges, the production team's dedication and creativity ultimately resulted in the creation of a compelling and memorable film. Warlock Moon remains a testament to the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the filmmakers of that era. Warlock Moon is a low-budget horror film from the 1970s. The story follows spunky college student Jenny, played by Laurie Walters, and goofy aspiring reporter Joan, played by Joe Spano, as they take a road trip across the California countryside. They come across an abandoned health spa and meet a kind elderly lady, Agnes Abercrombi, played by Edna MacAfee. As they explore the spa, they discover that rumors of it being a front for a crazed cannibal cult may not be far-fetched. Director William Herbert gets solid performances from the entire cast, with Walters and Spano being particularly likable. The pace of the film is steady, and the shock scenes are staged with flair. The atmosphere is eerie, mysterious, and unsettling, which makes for a compelling and oddly unsettling experience. Charles R. Blaker's score alternates between funky lounge tunes and more typical horror music. Larry Sechrist's grainy, unpolished cinematography gives the film a rough and rugged look, while also making use of artistic flourishes like dissolve, freeze frames, and slow motion. John Sykes' well-plotted script offers an intriguing setup, a few surprise twists, and a horrifying climax. The ending is downbeat and nihilistic, which is characteristic of the 70s. Although the film can be slow, static, and talky in parts, it is overall a genuinely spooky and satisfying little fright film. The creation of a film score and soundtrack is a meticulous process, and the 1973 movie Warlock Moon is no exception. The music in this film complements the narrative and emotional tone, enhancing the viewing experience for the audience. Composers and musicians work together to create music that aligns with the film's themes and mood. In Warlock Moon, the music is haunting and suspenseful, which adds to the film's supernatural elements. The score, composed by Stu Phillips, features a mix of orchestral and electronic music, which creates a unique and memorable sound. Phillips aimed to create music that would evoke a sense of mystery and unease. He used unconventional instruments, such as the theremin, to create an eerie sound that fits perfectly with the film's witchcraft and sorcery themes. The soundtrack also includes songs by popular artists of the time, which adds to the film's 1970s atmosphere. The musicians involved in the creation of the soundtrack for Warlock Moon were carefully selected for their expertise and ability to bring the composer's vision to life. The recording sessions were a collaborative effort, with the musicians working closely with Phillips to ensure that the music aligned with the film's visuals. The score and soundtrack for Warlock Moon are integral to the film's success. The music enhances the narrative and emotional tone, making the film more engaging and immersive. The composers and musicians involved in the creation of the soundtrack deserve recognition for their contributions to the film's overall impact. In conclusion, the creation of a film score and soundtrack is a complex process that requires collaboration between composers, musicians, and filmmakers. The music in Warlock Moon complements the narrative and emotional tone, making the film more engaging and memorable. The composers and musicians involved in the creation of the soundtrack deserve recognition for their contributions to the film's success. In the making of the 1973 film Warlock Moon, several interesting decisions were made by the cast and crew. Edna MacAfee, who played a crone, opted not to wear any makeup to achieve a more authentic look. This choice added to the film's overall authenticity and helped create a more believable character. Additionally, some scenes at UC Berkeley were shot without permits, adding an element of secrecy and excitement to the production. This decision likely contributed to the film's independent and rebellious spirit. Finally, Joe Spano and Laurie Walters improvised a scene in an empty swimming pool, showcasing their creativity and trust in each other as actors. With only a general idea of what they wanted to convey, they were able to bring a unique and memorable scene to life. One of the most iconic scenes in Warlock Moon is when the Warlock, played by John Finch, performs a powerful ritual to summon supernatural forces. The scene is set in a dark, eerie cave, with flickering candlelight casting long shadows on Finch's face. The camera work is tight and focused, creating a claustrophobic atmosphere that heightens the tension. Finch's performance is intense and commanding, making the audience believe in his character's otherworldly powers. Another memorable scene is the final showdown between the Warlock and the protagonist, played by Donald Pleasance. The scene takes place in a remote cabin, with the wind howling outside and the shadows dancing on the walls. The cinematography is atmospheric and moody, with a sense of impending doom hanging over every frame. Pleasance's performance is stoic and determined as he faces off against Finch's malevolent Warlock. The scene is a masterclass in suspense and tension, with the audience left on the edge of their seats until the very end. According to the film's director, Warlock Moon was intended to be a departure from traditional horror movies of the time. Instead of relying on jump scares and gore, the film aimed to create a sense of unease and dread through its visuals and performances. The iconic scenes mentioned above are prime examples of this approach, with their focus on atmosphere and character development. The film's cast and crew have also praised the movie's innovative take on the horror genre. John Finch, who played the Warlock, has said that he enjoyed the challenge of creating a complex and nuanced villain, rather than just a one-dimensional monster. Similarly, Donald Pleasance has spoken about the satisfaction of playing a hero who is not just a typical action hero, but a man of intellect and determination. Overall, the iconic scenes in Warlock Moon are a testament to the film's bold and unique approach to horror. Through its atmospheric visuals, intense performances, and thoughtful direction, the movie creates a sense of unease and dread that stays with the audience long after the credits roll. Director William Herbert involved real-life siblings Michael and Rand Herbert in different aspects of the production, showcasing their talents. The movie, titled Warlock Moon by Enchanted Film Arts, lacks any warlocks or moonshots. Notably, Herbert, Dave Marshall, Steve Solinsky, and Richard Vielle were all fraternity brothers at UC Berkeley's Zeta Psi. This behind-the-scenes bond likely added a unique dynamic to the filmmaking process. The 1973 movie Warlock Moon, while not a mainstream success, left a subtle impact on audiences and pop culture. The film's portrayal of witchcraft and the supernatural was somewhat groundbreaking for its time, contributing to the growing interest in the occult during the 1970s. It also explored themes of power, corruption, and the exploitation of nature, which resonated with audiences concerned about environmental and social issues. Warlock Moon didn't directly influence pop culture, but it was part of a broader trend of films that explored the supernatural and the darker aspects of human nature. This trend continued throughout the 1970s and 1980s, with movies like The Exorcist, Rosemary's Baby, and The Wicker Man. The film's depiction of witchcraft was relatively tame compared to later movies, but it still raised questions about the role of women in society and the nature of power. The witches in Warlock Moon were not the stereotypical hags of earlier films, but rather powerful, seductive figures. This portrayal challenged traditional gender roles and contributed to discussions about female empowerment. In terms of cultural impact, Warlock Moon was part of a larger cultural shift towards greater acceptance and exploration of alternative lifestyles and beliefs. The 1970s was a time of social upheaval and change, and movies like Warlock Moon reflected this. They offered audiences a glimpse into a world beyond the conventional, challenging them to question their assumptions and explore new ideas. Overall, while Warlock Moon may not be remembered as a classic film, it played a small but significant role in shaping pop culture and contributing to discussions about social and cultural themes. Its portrayal of witchcraft and the supernatural, as well as its exploration of power and gender roles, made it a culturally and socially relevant film for its time. In the 1973 film Warlock Moon, the production faced some unique challenges. The primary location's plumbing had been out of order for quite some time, requiring the crew to bring in a portable restroom. One day, distinguished stage actress Edna MacAfee emerged from it, praising the convenient purse holder. The crew hesitated to correct her, as she had mistakenly placed her purse in the urinal. The Volkswagen Carmen Ghia driven by John in the movie was, in fact, owned by associate producer J. Randel Munro. B-movie critic John Bloom revealed in his 24 Media Blasters DVD commentary that writer-director Tobe Hooper learned of Warlock Moon while completing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974. Fearing the movies might be too similar, Hooper made a special trip to California to screen Warlock Moon. Warlock Moon, a 1973 horror film, received mixed reviews from critics and audiences. The film's premise, which revolves around a coven of witches and their dark rituals, was met with some praise for its unique take on the horror genre. However, many reviewers criticized the film's low-budget special effects and uneven pacing. Notable film critic Leonard Maltin gave the movie a lukewarm review, citing its occasionally interesting concept but ultimately deeming it a routine shocker. Other reviewers echoed this sentiment, praising the film's innovative ideas but bemoaning its lackluster execution. Despite the mixed reviews, Warlock Moon has developed a cult following among horror fans. The film's focus on witchcraft and the supernatural has resonated with audiences, and it has become a staple of late-night horror movie marathons. Warlock Moon did not receive any major award nominations or wins. However, its cult status and enduring popularity among horror fans are significant accolades in their own right. The film's continued success has helped to establish the careers of many of the actors and filmmakers involved, and it remains a beloved entry in the horror genre. In short, while Warlock Moon was not a critical darling upon its release, its cult following and enduring popularity have solidified its place as a notable entry in the horror genre. The film's unique take on witchcraft and the supernatural has resonated with audiences, and its continued success is a testament to its lasting impact on the genre. In the 1973 film Warlock Moon, Laurie Walters and Joe Spano shared more than just a movie set. They were also in a relationship during production. Interestingly, Spano later married Joan Zerrien, who had a minor role in the film's opening scene. The three actors had met while attending UC Berkeley. The movie also has a connection to the music world, as a Canadian death metal band took their name from it. The cover of their 2009 EP Power of Darkness features artwork from the 1980s Unicorn video release. When Walters and Spano reunited for the Code Red Blu-ray extras in 2017, they struggled to recall details about the film's production. They had no memory of how they became involved, where or when it was shot, and Walters was even unaware that she had played dual roles. This reveals that, for some actors, certain roles may not leave a lasting impression. In the making of Warlock Moon, the 1973 horror movie, several interesting stories emerged from behind the scenes. One of the most memorable anecdotes involved the filming of a pivotal scene in an old, abandoned house. The crew had faced numerous challenges in finding a suitable location, but they finally discovered an ideal spot, a crumbling, decrepit mansion on the outskirts of town. However, the location presented its own set of problems. The house was infested with rodents and insects, and the air was thick with dust. Despite these issues, the crew pressed on, determined to capture the perfect shot. During the filming of a particularly intense scene, a member of the crew accidentally knocked over a lantern, setting fire to a corner of the room. The crew quickly sprang into action, using fire extinguishers to put out the flames. Fortunately, no one was hurt, and the damage was minimal. However, the incident left the cast and crew shaken, and they approached the rest of the shoot with even greater caution. Another anecdote from the set involved the film's lead actress, who was known for her method acting techniques. She spent hours alone in her trailer, preparing for her scenes and immersing herself in her character's mindset. Her dedication was evident in her performances, but it sometimes made her difficult to approach or work with. Despite these challenges, the cast and crew of Warlock Moon formed a close-knit community during the film's production. They worked together to overcome obstacles, and they supported each other through long days and difficult scenes. The friendships and connections forged on set lasted long after the cameras stopped rolling, and many of the cast and crew remained close friends for years to come. Through the ups and downs of the film's production, the cast and crew of Warlock Moon created a horror movie that has stood the test of time. The film's eerie atmosphere, memorable performances, and chilling scenes have made it a cult classic, and it continues to captivate audiences today. In 2012, the VHS collectors community recognized the 1980s Unicorn video release of Warlock Moon as the fifth most valuable tape, highlighting its significance among videotape collectors. The film's production took place primarily in Livermore, California, with the exception of a few scenes shot at UC Berkeley. Proceeds from the town's premiere screening supported the school district's music program. The cast included Laurie Walters and Joe Spano, who reunited 30 years after the film's release in the Rubicon Theater Company's productions of Sylvia and A Christmas Carol. The movie was shot in various locations around Livermore, such as the abandoned Arroyo Sanatorium, the high school's choral room, the First Street Jail, and the city library lawn. Filming began in the fall of 1972 under the title Devil's Feast, with some reshoots in the spring of 1973. Warlock Moon, released in 1973, is a horror film that has left a subtle, yet notable impact on the genre. The movie didn't make significant waves in the film industry, nor did it receive critical acclaim. However, its unique storyline and innovative elements for its time have influenced some aspects of future filmmaking. Warlock Moon presented a blend of horror and witchcraft, a theme that would later be explored more profoundly in various films and television series. The movie's portrayal of the supernatural and the coven lifestyle, although not as developed as in later works, laid a foundation for future storytellers to build upon. The film's use of isolated settings and the concept of a cursed object have also been seen in many subsequent horror films. These elements have been used to create tension and suspense, contributing to the development of the horror genre. Despite its modest impact, Warlock Moon has inspired a few direct and indirect sequels and remakes, demonstrating its enduring appeal to filmmakers and audiences. These works have further explored the themes and concepts introduced in the original film, adding to the richness of the horror genre. In summary, while Warlock Moon may not be a household name in film history, its innovative themes and concepts have left a subtle, yet lasting impact on the horror genre. Its influence can be seen in various films and television series that have explored similar themes, making it a significant, albeit modest, contributor to the world of horror filmmaking. In the 1973 film Warlock Moon, a critical scene featuring the Ghost Bride was initially missing from the original Shriek Show DVD due to an authoring issue. This problem resulted in a 5-minute segment being skipped, including the Ghost Bride's appearance on the spa's balcony. However, Shriek Show later rectified this problem and re-released the DVD, but it's challenging to distinguish between the two versions. The corrected version is now available in their Cannibal Lunchbox set. Interestingly, when the Ghost Bride appeared on the spa's balcony, she was pulled on wheels to create the illusion that she was floating. This technique added to the spooky atmosphere of the film, making the Ghost Bride's appearance even more eerie and memorable. Despite the initial DVD authoring problem, Warlock Moon remains a classic horror film that continues to thrill audiences. During the filming of Warlock Moon, the cast couldn't contain their laughter during a dinner sequence, which was worsened by the pickles they had to eat, causing them to pucker their faces. Two scenes that helped clarify the story were cut from the theatrical version, but added back for television airings and home video releases. The Soda Spring Spa in the movie was actually the Arroyo del Val Sanatorium, a tuberculosis treatment center in Livermore, California, that operated from 1918 to 1960. After being vacant for over a decade, the sanatorium was used as a filming location for Warlock Moon before its demolition in 1999. Camp Arroyo now stands on the site. In the filming of Warlock Moon, a tragic accident occurred that led to the death of a crew member. Special effects engineer Thomas Cameron was killed when a dynamite explosion went wrong during the production of the movie. This shocking event deeply affected the cast and crew, and Cameron's memory was honored during the film's completion. The production had to continue under challenging circumstances, with the team determined to finish the movie as a tribute to their fallen colleague. If you have any memories or experiences related to the 1973 movie Warlock Moon, we'd love to hear them. This film has impacted many people's perspectives on cinema, and we're sure you have some thoughts to share. Did Warlock Moon leave a lasting impression on you? Or perhaps it influenced your taste in movies in some way? We encourage you to share your stories and thoughts with us and our community. We would be thrilled if you could engage with us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel for more cinematic explorations. Your support and participation are invaluable to us. Let's start a conversation and learn from each other's experiences. We're excited to